and I already really love the Nomad formula, but these are, hopefully I didn't just green all over my shirt. These are really Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. I'm very excited for today's video because we have a new palette from Nomad Cosmetics. So each palette from Nomad is themed around a destination, and this one is Ireland, and it is really beautiful. So this is the Ireland Wild Atlantic Way palette is the full name. I will probably always call it just the Ireland palette, but it is very big. It's one of their bigger palettes, and it is really well done. I'm very excited to show you this. So this is going to be launching in a couple days. I'm going to have this video up the day that it is revealed. So because I'm short on time, this is going to be a first impression video. We're going to do swatches, one look, see what we think about it, and I will then do further looks in another video. And if you're new here, welcome. My name is Colin. I am a non-binary Latinx scientist and lover of makeup with a definite soft spot for indie makeup and high-end makeup. And I tend to be pretty analytical in the content I make. I just try really hard to make thoughtful, analytical content, be it on something brand new or on things I already know and love. And I have new videos every week, so I'd love to have you subscribe. So this is the Ireland Wild Atlantic Way palette. And like I said, this is the outer box. It's got the cliffs of Ireland on it. It's really beautiful, really pretty. And then there's this nice Celtic knot going around the outside. And then the back has the color story and a bit of about the palette like normal. This is 11 mattes and 7 shimmers, so it's one of their 18 pan palettes, which is the same size as like the Ghost Town palette and Haunted Europe and any of those that you might have. So it comes with a postcard like normal that has the information about the inspiration as well on there. But what it says on here is, Ireland's west coast that stretches from the windy swept north to the balmy beauty of the south is a raw and untamed landscape punctuated with sweeping views of verdant glens and tempestuous seas. Laced with dry stone walls, thatched cottages, towering cliffs, and deserted beaches, the Wild Atlantic Way has inspired dreamers and drifters, poets and painters, and adventurers and explorers. Charming villages nestled along the coast burst with character, giving warmth and comfort to the otherwise rugged world. I can read. And then it says, escape, explore, and enjoy the spectacular destination Oscar Wilde described as the Savage Beauty, which is also one of the shade names. So this is the outer component, like I said, and then this is the actual palette. It's kind of that felt-like texture, and then it has the same pattern as this postcard. It has that same pattern imprinted in it. Really beautiful, really well done. And just like all of their palettes, they partner with a charity where a portion of the proceeds go to that to support them. And this one is a supporter of the Irish Wildlife Trust. So like I said, this is an 18 pan palette. It will retail for $49. This is being revealed on Saturday, so that's when this video should be going up. Tonight is Thursday. I just got this in the mail as I came home from work. And the palette will launch on Tuesday. I think it's technically Tuesday at midnight, so like Monday night. And it will retail for $49. That is the same price as their standard 18 pan palettes, and then you can use codes to save on that. My code is BONES. It's not affiliated. I do not earn money on that or commission. That just exists to save you money. I think I have the hiccups. That just exists to save you money. It saves you 10%. So you can use mine, use someone else's, just use a code, save some money. Never pay full price for makeup. So this is the outer component, like I said. And then this is the color story. It is really pretty. I love green. Blue and green are my favorite two eyeshadow colors. And green is very much a neutral for me. And this is very green. I'm glad it's not monochromatic. There's nice green, there's gold, there's these warm touches like this kind of orangey terracotta looking shade. There's this dark blue over here. There's this really beautiful blue sparkly, it looks kind of shifty shade down here. So copper, really excited to do this. So I'm gonna put the camera pointed down. We're gonna go through swatches. I'm gonna swatch all of these matte first, then shimmer. And then we'll do a look on the eyes. I wish I had time for more, but I can do a multi-looks video if you all are interested. Otherwise, I will just use this in other videos, use it in my free time, and give you a full review later. Before I do swatches, I always like to preface them with swatches don't really tell you how a palette is going to perform. They're just about like what the colors look like to give you an idea between them, how they're going to look like on your skin tone, your undertone. I have an olive undertone and I am in that medium shade range for most products, so you can see them on me. I won't have any primer or anything on me. I don't have any lotion on. It's just going to take my watch off and then we'll do them down my arm. Okay, welcome to my arm and my table. I'm going to open up the palette, make sure the mirror isn't reflecting back too badly. This is a nice, good way to give you a close-up of the color story. Hopefully you can kind of see how this one looks pretty shifty. It looks kind of blue, maybe to green. It could just be a lot of green sparkle in it. Nomad really does a good job with shimmers. Even if they're not a shifty shade, there's lots of sparkle. So this one I see green and maybe some like teal in it. This one up here I see gold, white, and blue. So there's lots of different speckles in them. They're really beautiful shimmers. They're one of my favorite formulas. So I'm gonna do this by section. So I'm gonna do the more neutral looking mattes, and then we'll do the greens, and then we'll do the shimmers. That way you can kind of see them next to each other, and hopefully that will help decide if this is a color story for you. I also really love the embossings that they chose. I know swatching is gonna ruin them, so I wanted to show them off again. You've got the clawing, you've got castles, you've got the harp, you've got the clover. It looks like these are the cliffs right here. You can see them there. And then we've got the knot, which just makes me think of Charmed. I know it exists outside of that and has existed for a long time, but I can't help but think of Charmed when I see it. So the first shade here is Connemara, which is also the name of my husband's, one of his favorite whiskeys. And it is just a nice kind of pale, it's like a yellowy beige. And then we've got Danny Boy, which looks like kind of gray taupe. Very soft, they're very silky. Yeah, it's kind of a taupey stone color. And then we've got Malin Head here, which is, it looks like a pale green, so it might not actually be neutral, but we're gonna, yeah, it's kind of a pale yellowy green. And then the last one is gonna be this Bunratty Castle, which looks really pretty, right up my alley. Nice kind of warm terracotta. So we've got, this is the first shade. Yeah, it's like a beige with a hint of yellow. Really like that. That's gonna work well on my skin tone as a buffing out shade. Danny Boy, yeah, it's kind of a gray taupe, kind of a mushroom color. And then we've got that nice kind of pale yellow. And then that is a nice warm orangey brown, reddy brown. Really well done. These are all very pale though. So if you are darker than me, these are maybe buffing out shades. This is a nice maybe inner corner highlight, but this is gonna be your transition shade if you're darker than me. So let's do the greens. We can see how similar or different they are. So there's Wild Atlantic Way right here. These are all very silky. That's a really pretty green. Blarney Stone. Again, these are very silky. Nice true green, kind of mid-tone. And then this is the Wild Rover. A nice brighter Kelly green. Much brighter. These are really soft and silky, like some of the silkiest mattes that they've made. Right here we've got Krug Patrick, which looks like a nice bright green, yeah. And then Emerald Isle. This one is probably gonna pull very blue on me. Yeah, it's kind of teal, so it's gonna look very blue on my undertone. And then we've got the Tancha shade, which is a darker kind of forest green. So this is more true Kelly green. This is a little brighter, almost neon-y. That's definitely teal. This is a nice deep teal forest green. So there's definitely a good variation for these, especially if you have an olive undertone. These are all gonna look very different on you. If you are lighter and like a pinker undertone, some of these might look a little more similar, but for anybody darker, they should look pretty. So the last matte is this one. This is Gourmande, and it is a nice, ooh, that's really pretty, like gray blue. I think I will get a lot of use out of that. Okay, now time for the shimmers. This one is Cove Harbor, and very silky, very smooth and creamy. And that's really pretty. Yeah, it's like a blue with a bit of a tealy flip, like more of a purpley blue to a teal, at least on my finger. This is the Savage Beauty shade, more of a champagne, but a little more foiled. And then we'll do the two golds, and then we'll do the others. So this is Ring of Kerry. Nice true yellow gold. These are really intense. And this is Slan. This looks more like a green gold. Oh, that's really pretty. I love that kind of a shade. Yeah, there's a bit of a twinkle there from another shade, so it's not maybe necessarily a duochrome, but there's definitely enough twinkle that you see kind of a shift. But very smooth. This one's a little thicker, kind of a pewter champagne. And then we've got the yellow gold and that green gold. I love an olivey gold like this. Okay, so we've got the green shimmers. I had to look up how to pronounce this one. This one it's D-H-U-I-T. And as far as I can tell from online, it looks like it's pronounced kind of like Huich, so Dia-Huich. I am sorry to anyone who actually knows how to pronounce Irish words. And then this is Slancha. And this is looking a little bit more teal. Yeah, nice teal shimmer. And then this is green with a bit of a gold reflect. Oh, that's really beautiful. Really, really smooth and silky. And then the teal. And then the last shade is going to be the Cliffs of Mahar, which is the copper. That's really pretty. Really smooth, a little less twinkle to that. So there is the whole color story. So you've got a few really pale mattes, this mid-tone, got a nice range of greens, really love this blue, and then really beautiful shimmers. If you want to see swatches on other skin tones, my friend Steven got this, and they will have swatches on their lighter, kind of neutral leaning undertone, and I'm pretty sure Jamila gets PR from them, so Jamila should have a video up. Welcome back to my face. I really hope the swatches were helpful. I really am sad that I can't do more looks tonight, but it is Thursday night. I'm gonna have to edit this tomorrow, have it up Saturday morning. I just don't have time because I, got home from work, had dinner, all of that, and it is already kind of late. So I'm gonna do one look. Really excited. I think I'm gonna use this shimmer. I'm just really drawn to the olive leaningness of it, so excited to see how these work. Makeup details for everything else. I have a bit of my Pat McGrath foundation on and a little bit of my Givenchy concealer in the middle of my face, and then I have a bit of my Fenty cream bronzer and my Surratt bronzer on. And then I have blushes from Khakis, Finding Ferdinand. They're just my go-to. Like, I instinctively just keep grabbing for them, especially when I wasn't sure what look I'm gonna do. The shade Macchiato from the Summer Abroad one is like my perfect, goes with everything blush. And then I have a bit of the highlighter balm from Violette FR on. And then for brows, it's the Kosas. And then for lips, I put on my Lisa Eldridge lip gloss in Sorcery. My lips felt really dry today, so I needed something that felt very hydrating. But I'll have everything linked in the description box like normal. So I think I'm gonna start with this shade and see how it works, then build into Wild Atlantic Way and maybe Blarney Stone, but we'll see. I'm definitely doing a green look today. But I do love that you could easily just do like the 2 coppers. You could do something more neutral with these. You could put this over the greens. That would be really pretty. The contrast of this against the greens. These 2 shadows together would be a really great look, and probably one that I'll use a lot because these are tones I love. So I think this is pretty versatile. Really excited for this. I think this is really beautiful. And I did wear my plant shirt today, which I thought was fitting for this, and fitting, surprisingly fitting, because when we came home, one of our neighbors is moving and gave us a giant monstera, which now I have to find where to put. It's just over here where one of Bean's beds was, but it's big, so I don't know what I'm doing with that. So I'm gonna start with my NARS eyeshadow base, and then we'll get into this. Okay, so I'm gonna scoot you in a little bit. I will say from the swatches that it was pretty uniform. Like sometimes you swatch a palette and you're like, oh, the shade feels a little drier than this one, or this one's a little creamier. These were like very uniform in texture. Like the mattes all felt the same, the shimmers all felt the same, except for like Savage Beauty was a little thicker, but like that's it. So I feel like the quality is gonna be pretty good across the board. I really need to clean my brushes, so they are all wiped off, but they do have some staining on them. So I'm gonna go into the Connemara shade right here. I wanna see how that looks on me. So these are definitely soft and powdery. So always tap off. And I'm gonna dust that in the crease. I just wanna see how well this works as a transition shade. If you're darker than me, this might be a nice highlight shade. I think the Malin Head one will be a really nice highlight shade because it's got that yellowness to it. Yeah, this is like a soft olive, like a pale olive, like the actual olives. I think if you are a light olive skin tone, this is gonna be like your skin. So that is gonna be a pretty good transition shade. I like that. You can see it, but it's not too much, but it is very light. Just a big fluffy brush. This is a Rephr 27. I just like it because it has a little bit of a point to it, but it is very fluffy. So it's really good for sweeping a matte all over. And then I'm gonna go into this Wild Atlantic Way shade. I really wanna see what that looks like on. Yeah, there's a decent amount of kick up with these. Not something I care about, but I do know some people that really does bother. So very pale. Could have used this as the transition, but having that first shade down will tone this down and make it a little more grounded, because that's pretty bright. Wasn't sure what shade to start with, so I used both. But they're blending together really nicely. It looks a little minty on my eye next to the other one. I wouldn't really call it a mint, but it is pulling a little minty next to the other shade on the eye. I think I might have had a little less of the first shade over, so you can see what it looks like more so alone on this side. I will even this out now. And you can see how bright and opaque that is. So these are, I already really love the Nomad formula, but these are, hopefully I didn't just green all over my shirt. These are really nice. Okay, so I think I'm gonna go into Blarney Stone next. I just wanna see how these are gonna layer, and I'm just keep going down to a brush size. I don't know if that'll be super dark. It's kind of mid-tone, but with how bright that is, I want a little bit more. Yeah, that's like a really good true green. If you've been looking for greens, this might be the green palette to get. They're very pigmented, and I will probably go into the Tancha shade to see if that can add a little bit more depth. That was one dip. This is a very green. Like the shape, like the color. Really happy with this so far. I think this is the perfect shade for a shadow called Blarney Stone. Really liking this, very green. And then we're gonna go into Tantra, I just want to see how much depth I can get. I have some friends, both from Ireland that don't live there anymore, and friends that live there. I'm gonna have to send this to them and see what they think of the color story. Okay, I just used a small pencil brush. Well, technically a big pencil brush, and that is definitely adding some depth without being too, I definitely think there's enough balance between the green and the blue that's gonna work with Emerald Isle and that more teal leaning, but also works with this. Yeah, that's really nice. I like this brush because I can basically do a wing with one swipe like that. Zora for 26. It's their biggest pencil brush. Okay, I really like that. Now it's time for the shimmer. So, actually I might grab, so I'm just gonna grab a flat brush. I'm gonna pick up the Malin head one. I wanna see what that's like as an inner corner. I like a matte inner corner and I wanna add that before I do the shimmer. That's a really pretty brightening, but not too brightening. It would be a pretty just pop of green by itself, like if you did brown and just put a little bit of that there. Yeah, I like that. Okay, so I'm gonna pick up Salon on my finger. You can definitely use glitter glue or something if you want. Very creamy. Glitter glue is just gonna intensify the shine, but I don't feel, and wear time, especially if you have oily lids, but I just don't feel like it tonight. In the outer part and up here, I'm just kind of tapping lightly. I like to do that too. I don't want like a cut crease harsh edge. I want the sparkle to travel up a little bit into the crease. Obviously, you don't have to do that. And then I'm just taking this brush and putting a little bit more right there to kind of intensify the depth. There. No fallout, I have a speckle. There. Okay. So I'm gonna go off camera real quick, throw on some mascara. I don't really need to touch up the edges because I wasn't too haphazard, and I will be right back. Okay, so I'm back and this is the finished look. It's very bright and green, very spring. Really like it. Really excited to keep playing with this. I really am sad that I can't do more. I think my next look I have to do the bluey tones, and then I'll do something with the other greens and the more gold shade. If you wanted less monochromatic and wanted more gold, you could do this shade, the same mattes, but this shade. You can stick with the warm neutrals. I think there's a lot of versatility there. I wish this shade was a little darker, but I think overall, I'm really happy with this. I think this is a really beautiful color story, and I think it fits the theme really well. So I think this is Nomad. I've always liked Nomad's formula, and I think they've made slight tweaks to improve it over the last few years to make it even better. So these are really great. If you have Nomad palettes, I think you'll like this. If you like green, you're gonna like this. If you kind of like green or want to try some greens, but you're more into neutrals, I would try the Safari palette from last year. That one has a row of warm neutrals, a row of cool neutrals, and then a row of greens in the middle, so you get a little bit of everything. This is decidedly a green palette with some pops of like blue and neutrals and stuff versus anything else. Like when people were calling that one a green palette, I was like, it's mostly a neutrals. It's not really a green palette. This is a green palette. So, but not fully monochromatic, which I appreciate because I'm generally not a fan. I'm really happy about this. I'm very grateful that Nomad sent this to me in PR. And I'm really excited to keep playing with this. So let me know what you think of the look. Let me know what you think of the palette. Are you gonna pick this up when it launches in a couple days? Love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. As always, thank you so much for watching. Remember to like and subscribe, and I will see you all in my next video.